Hey guys, so earlier, or I guess yesterday, since it's now almost 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, July 3rd, I went to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum to get the Jack Billingham bobblehead, the fourth bobblehead in their 5-part series, and they also had a special bobblehead exhibit going on, and a special Pete Rose exhibit, so I brought my camera with me and I vlogged about it. So yeah, this is the vlog on my trip to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, so I hope you enjoy it. So we were in the lobby of the Reds Hall of Fame. Pretty cool. I'm going to show you guys the bobblehead exhibit and hopefully get the new bobblehead. You can also buy some bobbleheads from last year in our lobby. Here's this is this year's Pete Rose. And then last year's Pete Rose that the Reds gave out, Johnny Bench. And then we got the 1990 series that the Reds Hall of Fame did last year as well. So this is the bobblehead exhibit. They got all the different kinds of Reds bobbleheads on the wall. Bobblehead timeline and cases of bobbleheads. Here's some vintage bobbles. I guess I got the whole craze started way back when. Awesome stuff. We got some more closer to modern day bobbleheads in here. Really cool. And then you can see there former Red Johnny Cueto after the Royals won the World Series last year. So we got more, including the very first stadium giveaway bobblehead by the Giants, Willie Mays. Lots of cool bobbleheads in here, including some of the mini bobbleheads that were given away in cereal boxes that I have 4 of in my collection. We got some non-baseball ones over here. So we got like Dick Vitale and Kirk Herbstreit from ESPN. A couple of Ohio State bobbles. Michigan, Cam Newton at Auburn. LeBron, Bogut, and another LeBron back there. Tony Hawk from the Padres, which I have. A horse bobblehead. Lots of cool stuff. Some NASCAR up there. We got a massive vintage Mr. Redlegs bobble, and you can actually go up and bobble the head of it. Looks really cool. And these are all the Reds Hall of Fame bobbleheads that they've got done. So first one's 2010 with a March Shot bobble. Then they did the Johnny Bench line in 2011. The Big Red Machine line of mini bobbles in 2012. They didn't do any in 2013, they gave statues, but in 2014 they gave out bobbles of Barry Larkin, Eric Davis, 2 spring training Pete Roses. One was a variation with red shoes, which you can see on the left, red shoes, black shoes. And then on this side they had Jim O'Toole, which is the one I got, and Sparky Anderson. And I only got O'Toole because I had bobbles of all the other players already. And then there are their boxes. And then down here was last year's, the 1990 bobblehead line with O'Neill, Hatcher, Browning, Oliver, and Benzinger. And we got bigger bobbleheads of the Big Red Machine right here, which unfortunately you're not allowed to touch these, but they still look cool nonetheless. They featured these at Reds Fest this past year. So in here we got the Red Stadium giveaway bobbles like Marty and Joe, Sean Casey, Joe Morgan, Joe Nuxall, Austin Kearns, Davey, Barry, Felipe Lopez, and then the Bobble Belly Gapper, which is only given away to kids. And then the very first Red Stadium giveaway bobblehead is right there, Barry Larkin. That was 2001. And for the most part, the Reds are giving out some pretty decent looking bobbleheads. I mean, a complaint I have is that they repeat players a lot, but other than that, they look good. And then there's the best one. I think they were giving out the All-Star Game Mr. Redlegs bobblehead from 2014 to the 2015 All-Star Game. In this cabinet, we got like special edition Reds bobbleheads, a bunch of vintage Mr. Redlegs bobbles, the All-Star Black Bobble Stash and bobblehead right there. We got Rosie, some SAM Sands bobbleheads. Lots of cool stuff in here, and the shells vibrate, so the head bobbles like you see right there. We got some prototype bobbleheads that they never gave out. And then the ceramic gold Matthew 25 Ministry bobbleheads they gave out a couple of years ago, and they're the regular versions right there. This one we have some more Reds bobbleheads that aren't necessarily given away by the Reds. Like this is a Marty and Joe retail version of the bobblehead they gave out. A bunch of other different Reds bobbleheads in here. Special painted green 2012 Hall of Fame bobbles. The Dayton Dragons mascot right there. Todd Frazier Home Run Derby bobblehead. A couple custom bobbleheads made over here. So like this one is, I think it's Deion Sanders with his fingers up. That was never given out. I think that was just custom made. Then we got a massive Joey Votto bobblehead in here. Some more cool bobbles from companies like Forever Collectibles. That little mini bench was given out at the All-Star Fan Fest. And these up here, Sparky and Tom Seaver, were given out by the Columbus Clippers, while that George Foster was given out by the Florence Freedom Frontier League baseball team. And just a bunch of different cool, like, obscure Reds bobbleheads in here. We got a big Mr. Redlegs bobble that you used to be able to buy in the team shop. I'm not sure if you can still buy it. And then we got some non-sports bobbles, like we got a big Tiki bobblehead up there. We got some, looks like Jack in the Box, a Keeper Elf. A bunch of random stuff, actually, like Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Looks like Captain Crunch. Really cool bobbles. Got big Betty Boop. There's Bruce Buckeye and Gapper and Slider. A couple mascots are in here. There's Buster the Mighty Duck. I got that one. And then of course Louisville and UK, big rivalry. So you got a Wildcat strangling a Cardinal, and then on the opposite side you got the Cardinal strangling the Wildcat, which is the one I like most. D'Artagnan, the Xavier mascot, along with the Blue Blob. I think Bernie Brewer, the Milwaukee Brewers mascot. Bearcat, Puck Chop of the Cyclones, Twister. I got that one, and then there's Santa, Toucan Sam. Lots of cool bobbleheads in this one. This one we got a couple weird superhero bobbles. So we got Captain America, Ant-Man, Vision, Deadpool, Iron Man, Wolverine, Walking Dead. We got The Rock, Most Electrifying Man, Sports Entertainment Today, Bruce Lee, Flintstones, Jetsons, Buddy the Elf, Nightmare Before Christmas, Christmas Story, Rudolph. I mean, they just got a ton of bobbleheads in here, and most of them are not sports. Like these three cabinets so far, like Superman, HR Puff and stuff, Willie Nelson, Kiss. This looks really sweet, actually. And we got a couple Star Wars. So you got a Christmas Darth Vader, looks like a Funko Pop Rebel pilot, R2-D2 that was given out by the Reds last year, and then Darth Vader. And here we got some more local sports bobbleheads. So we got Florence Freedom Water Tower, a mini Twister, a couple Cyclones bobbles, Pete Gillen, former Xavier coach, a couple custom bobbles right here. These people with the mustache are actually at the Home Run Derby. We got some Bengal bobbles back there. So we got the Burger King Bengals in the back. There's Boomer, Dave Fulcher, Richmond Webb, Florence Freedom, Andy Dalton right there. And Domitah Pecco, which I cannot find for the life of me. That's a hard one to get. So if you have one, send one my way. And yeah, a couple Xavier bobbles. And then over here we got the Cincinnati Jungle Cats, Chad Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr., former arena football team in Cincinnati. And this last kid's got some more odd bobbleheads, like astronauts, a chef, Einstein, Alfred Hitchcock, a couple of patriotic bobbleheads for the 4th of July, Statue of Liberty, the Pope, a couple other stuff. And then of course, with it being the election this year, you got all these political bobbleheads with Trump and Hillary right there. Lots of cool stuff in here. And then Bobblehead Addicts, give them a follow. They're featured right there. And the Bobblehead Hall of Fame right there. We got a cool wall of a bunch of different Topps Cincinnati Reds baseball cards. And there's a ton of great Reds players featured on baseball cards over the years. In this area you got the Cincinnati Reds all-time leaders board. And so past Reds obviously are on white, with current Reds being highlighted in yellow. And this wall features a few random facts about the Reds and playing in Cincinnati. Really cool. And of course you got a special section here for Pete Rose, Cincinnati's favorite baseball son, maybe rivaled only by Barry Larkin. And we got a seat from Riverfront Stadium before they tore that down. And a couple of old school Reds players along with Eric Davis and Mario Soto. And this wall goes all the way to the top of the stairs, but it has the amount of baseballs that Pete Rose hit in his career to break the all-time hit record. They have retired jerseys like Perez and Frank Robinson, and the top of the Pete Rose baseball wall. So this is all part of the new Pete Rose exhibit that just opened a couple of weeks ago. So we got Charlie Hustle on the wall, and they're re-showing his record-breaking hit on TV right here. And that's the shot after he broke the record. Some Pete Rose memorabilia in this display case. And this is a timeline of Pete's career, as well as the number of hits, going all the way up to 42-56, and then of course all the teams he played for: Reds, Phillies, Expos, and back to the Reds. And these are some of the past Reds owners. And then Marge Schott and her dog shots. He went to its World Series collar. So this is the All-Star exhibit of the Reds Hall of Fame. They opened it last year, obviously, with the All-Star game being in town. And got a big mural of all the different Reds All-Stars. And this here is the pitching cage where people can throw balls on the other side, and you actually stick your head in there and get a view of what a catcher would see, which is really cool. Also some old jerseys that line this wall. Special Reds exhibits like for Morgan, Davis, Larkin. Really cool. You really gotta come to Cincinnati and check all this stuff out if you haven't been, because you can spend hours and hours just looking at all this stuff in the Reds Hall of Fame. It's incredible. I mean, even if you're not a Reds fan, if you're just a baseball fan in general, I highly recommend coming down here and soaking it all in. You got Joe Morgan's Gold Glove Award, a couple other awards in here. Very cool. Johnny Bench's Gold Glove, as well as a model of Crosley Field. Vintage looking stadium from way back in the day before I was born. Here's a World Series Championship exhibit. So you got 1990. I have a very similar picture in my room like that one. And then the 1940 World Series Championship Reds. Really cool. Hoping they release some 1940 Championship Reds bobbleheads. And they replica old school dugout with statue of Sparky and Hutch back there. Really cool. The 2015 All-Star Game unis that were worn here at Great American Ballpark last year. There's a little area for kids, like a little locker room. We got little chairs, a slide, and a Brandon Phillips growth chart. Here are the Reds minor league affiliates. Very cool looking jerseys. And here is the ultimate Cincinnati Reds man cave, complete with a bar, bobbleheads, different kinds of memorabilia, a big screen showing Reds highlights, very cool Reds lamp, Reds pins, old seats from Riverfront Stadium. If I had the money. And this exhibit, of course, the Macho Man Randy Savage actually spent some time in the Reds farm system. There's his baseball card. Randy Poffo is his real name, but Very cool to see the Macho Man, one of my all-time favorites, in the Reds Museum. And with the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. getting into the Hall of Fame this year, they got a special exhibit for him. Lots of Griffey Jr. memorabilia, and then a really cool picture of Junior and Senior together. Really cool. And then we got a kind of like a timeline of various Reds teams throughout the years. The World Series championship trophies from 75, 76, 1990. Over here we got statues of the Great 8, Big Red Machine. And then this TV always shows highlights from the Big Red Machine days. And this is the actual Reds Hall of Fame with all the different plaques that immortalize the players who have gone in throughout the years. And the whole reason we came to get the Jack Billingham bobblehead. Alright guys, so that was my trip to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The Bobblehead Exhibit was awesome. The Pete Rose Exhibit was awesome. And I always have a good time when I'm there. I always get lost in how much baseball history is in that Hall of Fame and Museum for the Reds. It is incredible. Plus, I got the bobblehead, so if you haven't already, make sure you check out that unboxing video. Yeah, give this video a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel by clicking the button on screen, or by going to the description below and clicking subscribe that way. Give me a follow on Twitter at Cincy Fan Zone. I live tweet during various sporting events like the Reds games, of course, Bengals games, wrestling, FC Cincinnati games, and a whole lot more. And make sure you check out my website, cincyfanzone.blogspot.com. Every bobblehead in my collection's up there, as well as autographs, pictures from various sporting events that I go to, such as my trip to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. I also write weekly blog posts for it, and every video on my YouTube channel is over there as well. So make sure you check out my website by clicking the button on screen, or again, going to the link in the description below. And thanks for watching, guys.